Jotunnslayer Hordes of Hel is a Norse-themed Survivors game. I assume everyone here knows the Survivors-like formula by now, but in case you don't, you kill hordes of increasingly difficult enemies, using the experience they drop to unlock new abilities that make you stronger, usually culminating in an epic boss of some kind to end the run, and earning meta resources to make future runs easier. Jotunnslayer follows this formula pretty closely, but does try to put its own spin on things. Jotunnslayer comes with 7 different heroes to play and unlock. Each one has its own unique class skills, subclasses, and weapons to try. While it sounds like a lot, the different weapons are basically just passives with underwhelming weapon active abilities, and the subclasses, which you unlock at level 11, generally just alter different values. Still appreciated because it does add different levers for the player to pull, but there's nothing here game changing. The heroes themselves do play differently enough from one another, so credit where credit's due. 15 seconds after loading into a game, you're greeted by a choice of objectives. Progress towards the final boss of the map is not tied to the timer directly like in most games, but instead to the number of objectives you complete. The maps in Jotunnslayer are on the smaller side, but objectives keep the game engaging and forces the player to actually move around, which I think is a nice change and would not mind in more Survivor-like games. Completing objectives rewards meta currency, which we will address later. The timer in Jotunnslayer is used to determine when the player is given objectives. If the timer reaches 0, the run ends in failure, but the player does keep meta resources earned. It's hard for a run to end by timeout. Even for this clip, I had to willingly let it run out. So in case you're worried about the time crunch, don't be, it's almost a non-issue. On Level Up, the player is given a randomized choice between different gods and the hero themselves. Gods have their own universal abilities and passives that all heroes can use, while each hero has their own unique abilities and passives that are exclusive to them. So while all heroes can find the god Loki, for instance, the Flame Sister hero can't find abilities from the Warden hero. Theoretically, you can have an infinite amount of passives, which of course in normal play will never happen, but you can only possess 2 autocast skills from your hero, plus 3 autocast skills from gods. Autocast skills are the powers and abilities you would expect from other games. There's enough variety here to mix and match builds, but some people will feel it's limiting to only have 5 possible autocast skills at once. Also, leveling up abilities mostly just changes values, although there are some exceptions to this, where an ability functions slightly differently. Reaching the final boss of the map, or the Jotun as they are called, get it? Games called Jotunnslayer, you slay Jotuns? Removes the timer from play so you can take as long as needed to beat it. Speaking of the Jotun, they are a couple steps above bullet sponges, but nothing too crazy. Like a light version of something you would find in Diablo or Path of Exile. I think the core gameplay holds up fairly well, it's just the rest of the game I'm not so sure about. Before we move on from gameplay, a couple more things. The game is playable with one hand. I know some of you are probably thinking, why does that matter? But outside of just accessibility, being able to play the game entirely on keyboard with one hand is appreciated when you want to do multiple long runs back to back. Although sometimes the auto hit or auto aim gets annoying.
Why won't you die?
The first few hours had a lot of FPS dips, forcing a game restart each time to fix the issue. For some reason I stopped getting them. Could be on my end, could be the game, not sure. There are 5 maps, each with its own gimmick, nothing insanely different, but it still helps break up the monotony that can occur in this genre. Now the meta currency. It comes in 2 forms, gold and soul stones. Gold is converted to skill points that you can use on either your hero or on one of the gods. Skill points used on heroes are obviously exclusive to that hero, while any hero can use any god. The system works, but it's a little underwhelming. Each god has abilities you can upgrade, or a bunch of universal passives that work regardless if the god is in use. So you're almost griefing yourself if you don't spend the points on the passives. But the passives are all uninspired, like plus 3.5% attack speed or plus 3% attack damage. There's nothing here that will knock your socks off, but it's passable. I also appreciate the fact that you can remove points whenever you want. For example, you want to play Archmage on a high difficulty, but he's not kitted out yet. No problem. You can remove all the skill points from another hero and instantly try out a full strength version of Archmage. This is another change I want more Survivors-like to have. After playing the game on a high difficulty, I don't want to play lower difficulties to level my underpowered characters. I frankly find it boring. While gold is plentiful, soul stones are not. The game is really stingy on soul stones, which are used to unlock weapons, and I'm not sure why, considering each character has 5+ weapons of various costs. Again, the weapons just give you a passive boost and a generally underwhelming active ability, which is why it's even more strange why the soul stones are only trickled out. Jotunnslayer Hordes of Hel is a mixed bag for me. While there are things here I like a lot, like the objective system, which keeps the game engaging, the various difficulties and modifiers you can mess around with to make the game as easy or as hard as you want, and the art direction that makes this one of the better looking Survivors I have played. The underwhelming abilities and passives, the lack of spectacle you've come to expect from this genre, and the lack of content this game offers makes it hard to recommend at its full retail price of $20 Canadian. On sale though, Jotunnslayer Hordes of Hel is definitely worth giving a try. It won't be your main Survivors-like, but it's fun enough to mess around with on the greater difficulties or to casually play on a sleepy evening. If you have played Jotunnslayer Hordes of Hel before or want to discuss something shown here, leave a comment below. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't, it helps the channel grow. My name's Yulo, and I'll see you in the next one.